Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, bishops, and elders of the great millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom also to the Akim pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, and to the speckled bird across the four corners of the world, and to the few sisters who are listening to you, I say shalom. Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson on the brother Khadasha from the GMS Chicago camp, coming back at you with another lesson. All right, and what I wanted to get into in this lesson was a testimony of something that happened to me a couple of years ago when I was fresh into the truth. And back then, when I first came into the truth, this was something that ultimately it was a test for me, okay? Because when I first came in, something that would always be in the back of my mind was that I didn't want people that I knew in the world to see me out there, all right? And I would always have that in the back of my head. You know, we would be out there teaching, out there on the highways and byways. And it got to the point where you know, if I would see somebody, one of my coworkers or somebody, you know, across the street or something, all right, I'll try to not hide, but I'll kind of like pretend like I don't see them and shit. All right. So it got to the point where, you know, I didn't want people that I knew in the world, whether it was family or friends or whatever, I didn't want them to see me out there teaching. All right, so the Lord he put a test in front of my face, man. All right, the Lord wanted to see if I was ashamed of him. So one day, and the reason why I say that is because one day we were out there on the highways and byways teaching, where we always teach, right there on Roosevelt and State, which is a really busy street, man. Over here in Chicago, Roosevelt and State is a very, very busy street. You see a lot of people that you know, you run into coworkers, whatever, right? And then the job that I had at that time, you know, it was actually down the street from where we taught at. So my coworkers would always pass through there every single time. A lot of them would not notice me. But this one particular day, one of my coworkers had gotten off the bus station and we were not teaching yet. You know, we were actually just... You know, brothers were just barely getting there. Brothers were not even setting up yet. So brothers were just kind of like talking and, you know, going into the scriptures, whatever, like brothers always do before we start camp. All right. And so we haven't started camp yet. But when he saw me with the brothers out there, he knew what I was out there doing. He knew that I was with the Hebrew Israelites. He knew I was with, you know, the brothers out there with the Bibles that were out there teaching and so on and so forth. And so he said hi to me, and I didn't even see him, you know, I didn't even see him, whatever. He saw me, but I didn't see him. Long story short, he got offended because I didn't wave back at him, that's some woman, you know, bitch ass shit, man. He got offended because I didn't see him wave at me while I was with the brothers. So this happened on a Saturday. The next day when I went to work on Sunday, he clocked in, and as soon as he clocked in, the moment that he clocked in, he started scoffing me, man. He started saying like, man, I saw you out there with them bum ass niggas, bro. What are you doing out there? And this was a Jake, bro. It was a Jake, some Southern Kingdom Jake or whatever. And we were cool with each other. But after he saw me out there with the brothers, you know, bringing out the word and, you know, fellowshipping with the brothers right before we started camp, you know, and the fact that he saw me with the Akim, you know, that offended him, man. And so he started scoffing me. He started talking shit. He was saying like, man, I can't believe you're out there with those bum ass niggas, man. They don't even do anything for the community, bro. They don't do anything but scream at people and this, that, and the third and blah, 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 and this, that, and the third. And, you know, he's just going in, bro. He's just talking shit. And so I'm just like, well, if you're calling them bums, then you're calling me a bum to them, because I'll be out there with them, with those brothers, man. All right. And so he starts to like he starts to talk shit. He starts, from the moment that he clocks in to the moment that he clocks out, this man is just talking shit, man. All right. And usually in a restaurant, when you're working on the line, everybody in the restaurant could hear you. So he was saying this on the top, to the top of his lungs, man. All right. He was just screaming like, man, this guy's a Hebrew Israelite, man. This guy was out there with them, bro. I saw him out there. I saw him out there with those guys, man, with those bum ass dudes, man. What the fuck, man? And this. So he's just out there just, going in, man. He's just talking shit. All right. And I was just getting annoyed, because in my mind, that was one of the things that I didn't want to happen. I didn't want somebody that I know in the world or something to see me out there. But in that moment, I knew that the Lord was proving me. I knew that the Lord was putting me to the test, man, because that was a fear that I had deep down. And in this truth, you cannot fear those things more than Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. You must understand that ultimately we're being tried every moment. Our faith is being tried, man. And since I was out there on the highways and byways with the brothers proclaiming this truth, all right, saying that I believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, best believe the Lord was going to put that to the test, man. See, the Lord, one thing about the Lord, man, is that he could see our doubts. He could see our fears. He could see the things that, we're ashamed of and so on and so forth, which, proclaiming this truth and being out there on the highways and byways is nothing to be ashamed of. All right. So that was something that ultimately the Lord brought me through this situation to purge it out of me, man. All right. Because while this guy, was basically talking shit for the whole shift, I was just getting annoyed, but I wasn't about to deny the fact that I was serving the Lord, man. All right. This is Job 7 and 18. It says, or verse 17, it says, what is man that thou shouldest magnify him, and that thou shouldest set thine heart upon him, and that thou shouldest visit him every morning and try him every moment. So ultimately the Lord, he tries us every moment, every day that passes by, every day that we wake up and we go out here and live our day-to-day lives. The Lord is going to put us through certain situations where he's going to try your faith. He's going to put you to the test to see whether your faith really truly is genuine, man. Okay? And I was already in the camp for a little bit. All right? I was fresh in the camp. All right? But me being fresh in the camp, one of the fears that I low-key had in the back of my mind was that I didn't want people that I knew to see me out there. So the Lord allowed for somebody that I knew to see me out there teaching. And not only that, but the Lord allowed them to scoff me at work. Literally, bro. For the whole shift. From the moment that nigga clocked in to the moment he clocked out, this nigga was talking shit, bro. And I just stood quiet. I was just, whatever. This is what I got to go through. This is my test. All right. But one thing is that you cannot be ashamed of the Lord, man. All right. You cannot be ashamed of the Lord. Well, he already has seen me out there. What am I going to do? Deny that I'm not out there, man? He's seen me already, man. All right. After that, I started, a lot of people that knew me started seeing me out there teaching, man. From friends that I knew since kindergarten to family members to bitches that, knew me in the world to co-workers to all types of people, man. A lot of people, if you're out there teaching on the highways and byways, best believe somebody that you know is going to see you out there, man. They're going to see you out there. All right. It's something you got to deal with, man. And you cannot be ashamed of the Lord, because what's going to happen when there's mass persecution, when we start being, when we become infamous more than we already are. Right now, the Hebrew Israelites are infamous. We have a notoriety that people in the world, we leave a bad taste in their mouth. Every time they think about the Hebrew Israelites, they don't want to deal with it, man. But best believe that persecution is going to increase to a whole nother level. All right, it's just part of the ministry. This world is gonna hate us for the namesake of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and you must be ready for that, man. All right, because that was something that I low-key had a fear of, and the Lord proved me with it, man. Because every time we would go out there to teach, it would always be in the back of my mind like, damn, bro, what if somebody sees me and so on. So the Lord allowed that test to happen to me, man. The Lord allowed that demonic ass nigga to persecute me, man, at work in front of everybody, man. He was telling everybody, my coworkers, my manager, bro, even the customers, man. He was pointing at me while being like, man, this dude is a Hebrew Israelite. Man, he's out there with those bums, bro, and woo, woo, woo. And he was just talking shit, bro. Talking hella shit, mad shit. All right? And I was just annoyed, man. But at the same time, I was thinking about the Lord. Like, damn, the Lord said that this would happen. The Lord said that people would hate us. It was like the Lord was showing me, things through the Spirit. Because when you first come in, you hear older brothers say a lot of things like, men don't count the cost, or you hear the apostles and elders say things like certain guys don't know what they're involved in, and just things like, this truth is about suffering. And when you first come in, those things, you don't really understand it until the Lord brings you through situations and you're like, wow, now I understand. Now I see why the Lord said this. All right, but this is John 16:1. These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. So the Lord told us that we would suffer persecution. The Lord told us that people would hate us. The Lord told us that the world would hate us, man. That's why the Lord told us to marvel not if the world hates you. It says that right here in this is the book of 1 John 3:13. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. And that's something that we ultimately are not supposed to marvel at. The Lord told us we would suffer persecution. The Lord told us the world would hate us. The Lord told us all these things. So while I was at work being persecuted and scoffed at, in that moment, I stood quiet because I realized that, wow, this is what the Lord was talking about. This is what the Lord meant, that the world is going to hate us, that people are going to hate us for what we're standing for what we believe in. The fact that we're proclaiming the names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai and proclaiming our true heritage, our people hate that. They're not going to love you for it, man. It's going to be quite the opposite. They're going to fucking hate your guts. All right? And they're even going to show it. They hate it, man. All right? But that's something we're not supposed to marvel at. Because before he knew that I was out there teaching with the brothers, and before he knew that I was an Israelite and so on and so forth, me and this dude were cool as fuck, man. I would come into work, he'd be like, hey, what's up, man? And woo woo, he'll be talking to me about his life and this, that, and the third. But as soon as he found out that I was a Hebrew Israelite, that nigga had beef with me from that day forward, man. He did not fuck with me, man. All right? And so I was, a young bro. I'm still a young brother, but when you're fresh in the truth, the Lord brings you through situations that mature you through the Spirit, that now you're able to understand the sayings that elder brothers always say. Now you're able to understand things like, oh, this truth is about suffering. You're going to go through persecution. Now you understand things like John 16:1, that these things have I spoken unto you so that you should not be offended. The Lord told us these things would happen. See, a lot of people, when they find out that you're an Israelite, they're actually going to hate your guts, man. All right? And they're going to hate you even more when you actually stand on it, man. When you're not ashamed. Because this guy, he tried to shame me, man. He tried to make me feel bad for what I do, for what I believe in. And you cannot let these people in the world put you to shame for believing on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. You cannot let these people in the world shame you for trusting in the word, for trusting in the prophecy, for trusting in Yahweh Shai, for believing your true heritage, for proclaiming your true heritage, man. You can't let these people in the world put you to shame for that. This is everything we've ever wanted, man. And if we continue in this and endure unto the end, what's the result of us holding to our faith? The salvation of the Lord. That's what we're looking for, right? Are we not working out our salvation with fear and trembling? So guess what? The Lord is going to bring you through certain situations to purge out certain fears. The fact that I had that fear was a stupid fear, man, because we should not be ashamed of serving the Lord. You should not be ashamed of somebody that you know in the world, seeing you out there on the highways and byways. All right. You should not be ashamed of that, man. And that was something that, and really, this is also another reason why I'm making this lesson, because that's why I put the title, Are You Ashamed of the Lord? Because truth be told, in these last days, man, the persecution that we're about to go through, our faith is going to be put to the test. And the Lord is about to see if you're really about this. He's about to see, are you ashamed of me and of my words? Are you ashamed of me and my Father? Because if you are, the Lord is going to be ashamed of you. He's not going to confess you before the Father, man. It tells you that right here in the book of Mark, chapter 8 and verse 35. It says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. And this truth is about sacrifice. This truth is about carrying your cross despite the world coming against you, despite you sacrificing your ambitions and your aspirations. All of that has to go in the trash when you come into the truth, man. And why is that? Because you have to lose your life for the sake of the gospel, for the sake of the Lord, man. If you truly want salvation, you got to sacrifice your life, man. You got to present your body as a living sacrifice. This truth, you got to give it your all. And when you give your truth, you give the truth your all, best believe the world is going to hate you, man. People in the world are going to hate you. Your friends, your family, people are going to start turning on you because of the boldness of the faith that you are showing and displaying. The fact that you are sticking true to your guns and that you're standing 10 toes on proclaiming your true heritage. A lot of people are going to hate that because they ultimately do not have faith, and they're ashamed of the Lord. They're ashamed of what we do. All right. One of the things that guy told me was that we don't do nothing for the community and that we should be ashamed of ourselves because all we do is be out there screaming at people and we look broke and stuff. And I told him straight up, I said, fuck the community, man. Real shit. Fuck the community. Fuck niggas, bro. We're not out there for the fucking community, man. And after he talked shit for so long, I said, you know what, bro? Let's go to the back. Let's talk. So I took him to the back and I'm like, you've been talking shit for 5 hours straight, bro. What's your problem? And then he's just like, nah, bro, it's because like I didn't know that that's what you were on. And I'm like, bro, even if that's what I'm on, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking shit? You've been talking shit for 5 hours, bro. You got a problem with me? Nah. You got a problem with me? I checked his ass, man. And then after that, I told him what we believe in and so on and so forth. And I said, okay, you don't believe that, right? All right, then you believe whatever the fuck you want to believe and leave me alone. After that, he still wouldn't shut up. So then while I'm cooking, one of my coworkers that, I guess one of my coworkers got irritated with him. And when he got irritated with him, he looked at him and he said, man, shut the fuck up already, bro. If he wants to believe that, if he wants to be out there doing that, then who cares, bro? Just shut the fuck up already, man. Leave him alone. And I knew that was the Lord that put the spirit on him to do that, man, because all my coworkers did not give a fuck that I was an Israelite, man. All right? A lot of coworkers would actually see me out there teaching, but they would never say anything. They would just, it was whatever to them. They didn't really care. All right? They might have thought I was crazy, whatever, but they would never mention it. They just didn't care, man. But this one particular dude, he got offended. He got offended to the point that he started to scoff me at work, man. Which it was really a test from the Lord, because I shouldn't even have been in that mindset of being out there, with the mentality of I don't want nobody that I know to see me. Well, the Lord bursted that bubble for me, man. The Lord allowed somebody that I know to see me, and the Lord allowed that person to persecute me and scoff me at work. And from that test, I grew. All right. I became more mature because from that point forward, I became more bold to speak the word without fear, because I understood that the word was true. I understood that what the Lord spoke and warned us about, that we were going to suffer persecution, that ultimately that was what was part of this walk. And I understood that, damn, this is really, that's how I know I'm in the truth. All right. It was like a realization, a moment of becoming fully persuaded in the truth that, wow, this is how I know I'm doing the right thing. I'm suffering persecution for proclaiming my heritage. And then shortly after that, that dude got fired, man. The Lord got rid of his ass, because after that, he just started to beef with me at work. Every day at work, he would just try to start some bullshit with me. And so the Lord got rid of his ass, man. All right. He started to scoff me every day at work and stuff, man. And, my other coworkers did not give a fuck that I was an Israelite. They just did not care. It was not really a matter of great importance to them. But to this particular guy, it was, man. But that's part of being in the truth. Part of being in the truth is suffering, man. Suffering persecution. Suffering, humiliation. Suffering, the low. Being cast down. Being spat upon. Being the offscouring of the world. Being hated. All right? Being disliked. All right? When you come into this truth, man, a lot of guys think that there's going to be like a glorious red carpet is going to, just magically appear for them, and they're just going to have the greatest life ever, and they're just going to walk into the kingdom. And nah, man, the Lord is going to bring you through things so that you could understand. All right? And if the Lord sees certain things in you, he's going to purge it out. All right? He's going to purge it out. He wants to see if you truly believe in him. All right, back in Mark 8:36, it says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels." So if you're ashamed of the Lord, if you're ashamed of his words, if you're ashamed of what we're proclaiming, the Lord is going to be ashamed of you. All right? The Lord is not going to confess you before his heavenly Father, because ultimately you're ashamed of him. You're ashamed of this truth. You're ashamed of the gospel. You're ashamed of the word. All right? You're ashamed that you're an Israelite. You're ashamed that we're out there teaching on the highways and byways. You're ashamed, of the names. You're ashamed of your true heritage. You're ashamed that you're the real, true, chosen people of the Lord. All right? If you're ashamed of that, the Lord is going to be ashamed of you. If you're ashamed of Yahawashi, the Lord is going to be ashamed of you. How are you going to be ashamed of the Lord and this truth in the midst of this adulterous and wicked ass generation, man? All these people out here, you got to really critically look at their life. A lot of these people be ugly as hell, believe in all types of religions. All right. They believe in astrology. They practice, witchcraft. A lot of them are LGBT, ABCQ, gay ass fucking faggots, man. All right. A lot of these dudes are effeminate. A lot of these people are fucking just terrible fucking people. You're ashamed of the Lord and his words in the midst of those wicked ass people, man. Fuck these people, man. All right. I realized in that moment when I was being scoffed at work from the whole shift, mind you, from 11 in the morning to fucking 5 in the afternoon. Because I clocked in, at 11. This nigga was there from 9 in the morning. So as soon as I clocked in, this nigga just started scoffing me, man. All right? For the whole shift that he worked until he clocked out, he was just straight scoffing me, man. Even after my coworker told him to shut the fuck up and nobody cares, he still kept talking shit. You know how Jake is, man. Jake be talking shit. All right, but I knew that deep down this was happening because of my, because I had that fear deep down of people that I knew seeing me at camp teaching. So the Lord allowed that to happen so he could purge it out of me, man. Because now, people be seeing me out there on the highways, but I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm out here. Yeah, we teach the Bible. Now what? What are you going to do? Post it on Facebook that I'm out there? I don't give a fuck. Fuck them people, man. Yeah. Or what you're going to do, take a picture of me and post it on Instagram? I don't give a fuck. I already cursed out all the people that I know when I first came into the truth. They know what I'm about. Look, everybody, when you first come into the truth, man, you tell everybody that you know because you're so excited that you found the truth that you think that your family and your friends are going to be just excited as you. But you quickly find out that these people do not care about the truth. They do not care about their heritage, and they do not care about the Lord. They do not care about Yahushua and his sacrifice, man. All right, you quickly find that out. So I don't care if people in the world that I know see me out there teaching it, all right? Especially now, man. All right? Everybody that I know in the world already knows that I teach. Why? Because when I first came in, I rebuked all of their ass and I told them the truth. And after that, they unfriended me. They thought my ass was crazy, man. Okay? But that's part of it, being in the truth as well. You lose friends. You lose family members, cousins that you were cool with. People that had an affinity towards you. They become disenchanted with you because of what you're proclaiming now, which is the truth. All right, you become an enemy because you've told them the truth. But are you going to be ashamed of the Lord and of his words in the midst of this adulterous and sinful, wicked generation? Nah, man. We must continue to proclaim the Lord and continue in the doctrine and continue in this truth until the very end, regardless of who doesn't believe, man. Regardless of who thinks we're crazy, regardless of who sees us out there teaching, you got to keep teaching, man. You got to keep proclaiming this truth. You got to keep standing 10 toes for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. That's just the truth of the matter. You cannot be ashamed of the Lord, man. All right? And in that moment, the Lord was putting me to the test. He wanted to see, are you ashamed of me? Are you ashamed of me? Okay? And that's something that I always ask myself now. When I examine myself, I always ask myself, am I ashamed of the Lord? Did I handle that situation the right way? Should I have not told them that I was an Israelite? Should I have just, But, just being in this truth, man, is this truth, you're going to go through persecution, man. It's just being part of the truth, man. All right? So with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles, bishops, and elders of the great millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom and Abba Babal.